Well, police associations across Canada say people who violate parole should face criminal charges. They say even violent offenders are being released from jail and should be held accountable for breaching parole conditions. Police association representatives from across Alberta are meeting in Lethbridge today, and they're calling for targeted reforms aimed at repeat offenders. Terry Vogt reports.
Police associations have been calling for reforms to the parole system for more than 20 years. The case of Randall Hopley, the man convicted of kidnapping a 3-year-old Sparwood boy in 2011, is among 100 or so case studies being put forward where prisoners out on parole have been involved in serious crimes.
From an offender's perspective, it is a joke. It's a running joke across this country, and that's the sad reality of the kind of criminal justice system that we've seen develop in this country.
Under current laws, police can arrest those who breach probation or bail conditions, but that power doesn't extend to prisoners who've been released on parole.
We are asking the federal government to institute a new offense that represents breach of parole that you can arrest on site rather than having to go through the parole board or the Correctional Services of Canada people, which hasn't worked in the last 23 years.
The Edmonton Police Association has been fighting for these changes since the early 1990s, after a young police officer was shot and killed during a botched bank robbery. The driver of the getaway vehicle, Albert Folston, had been released 8 times on parole and committed a new offense each time.
And Correctional Service of Canada supported and the parole board granted, oh, what the heck, let's give him a 9th try. And in the company of another guy, another dirtbag who should never have been on an early release named Jerry Cruz, in a botched armed robbery, they shot and killed a young Edmonton police officer. The people of Canada are entitled to better than that.
The police associations have hired Scott Newark to put together a proposed new law, one that includes better use of electronic monitoring and making parole harder to get if a person commits a crime while on parole.
And these are the ones that should be in jail. We should have the ability to arrest them on the spot for breaching their parole conditions and put them back where they belong.
This is an issue of public safety across this country.
The police associations say they plan to continue lobby efforts at both the federal and provincial levels. They say community safety is an issue for all Canadians. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The draft legislation was presented to federal officials in Ottawa at the end of April.